to find out information. That's all. It's cool. I'm not only holding it against him.
Because little by little, I'm going to air more and more of the information that's been coming my way that I deem credible. And yes, it was Cindy's car. She traded it in.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Information that's coming your way that's credible. If you can't share the source, and you need to keep it anonymous, and you need to be careful in this circumstance, specifically in this case, there's a major problem. You're probably being lied to, misled, even with a little bit of the truth. They can feed you a little bit of the truth and enough, because no matter what, they know more about all of this and their relationship, Malaya and Cindy, than the public does. So they're allowing you in to knowing what it is that they know under the guise of feeding you fucking like new information where it makes you feel just stimulated AF. Don't fall for this shit, Mike. Don't fall for the people coming to you telling you that they have all of this information. Like a lot of the things like this that people go through in their history, some of the stuff that you're hearing may be true. But why is it being fed to you, and why is it being told in a certain way? Especially you. They're contacting you because why? Because you're creating content. And you can be a tool for them by proxy. That's why. That's primarily the only reason. Everybody else needs to go to the RCMP. And if they are going to go public with some groundbreaking piece, then unfortunately, YouTube isn't the first choice. What would be effective about that if it's so groundbreaking and shattering? Otherwise, you're choosing to spread misinformation no matter how much you believe the source. I'll tell you right fucking now that we've exposed every one of the sources that you have so valiantly protected all along the way under the guise of that's just the right thing to do. They've taken advantage of you with that. Unfortunately, this is black and white. There's no fucking gray area here. If the information is legit and valid, we should be hearing it through the RCMP. You know, the time for that that honeymoon phase when a crime like this gets committed and a situation evolves like it has with Jack and Lily, there's a time frame where that type of garnering of information is okay. Not when it's 10 months in. So what it sounds like and it looks like that's going on is that he's being manipulated with little pieces of the truth of Malaya and Cindy, who have chosen not to speak their rights, to exercise their rights and not speak to the media. Well, it's not about speaking to the media, it's about not speaking to the RCMP. But we can't verify that anymore. All right? That's why it's not worth pursuing. So you're going to get fed little bits of the truth by the people who have it out for her and have since day one. In fact, they had it out for her so much that they killed her kids, Mike. So they feed you a little bit of the truth in order to go and be convinced enough to be where we are now and considering it for a greater audience and its tangible and how tangible it is to the case. And trying to make sense of it. You've just been manipulated. That's how easy it is. No fucking way. There's no fucking way anybody's coming to you with information about anything in this situation that you can put yourself in your position, nor should you want to be in that position. This is all about two missing children. It always has been, and we don't need to deviate far from it in order to stretch out any theories. We know who's responsible. Yeah, everybody's got something you can hold against them. Their family isn't perfect, but essentially what you're being proxy or being a tool to proxy to, or abuse by proxy, excuse me, is an extension of what it is that they've been doing all along. And it doesn't mean that you have to excuse Malaya. She's at fault, I'm sure, in all of this, but we need more information. We don't need that now. We can be comfortable in knowing that it's there and it will be coming based off of what the other two suspects on the scene have said in the way that they've behaved. We know that they're hiding. There is only one thing to be lying about in all of this. If she did get rid of her car, fuck, you want to get rid of all of that too. It's like sleeping in the bed. It's like people getting rid of their mattresses after deaths. Some people want to get rid of the memory, the scent, the smell when they move on. It's part of the process, breaking cycles. And there's no doubt in this situation that Daniel specifically is the primary abuser in this relationship. Is there abuse going on by way of Malaya? Probably, but we don't know yet. It's not worth talking about, Janie. It's not worth talking about considering we're specifically looking at you guys and your abuses. There's no need. There's no need to be distracted and diverted by what it is you want us to believe Malaya and Cindy have done and did in all of this. Nobody's going to walk away from this looking very good because everybody's lied. It feels like an extension of Daniel's aggression and anger towards Cindy he expressed to us, even back through the documents and in different ways, about their confrontation after the ambulance, for example. It's an extension of the hands-on fight that occurred the first day at the end of the driveway, or was it the second day? I think it was the second day. Joanna, yeah, there's a lot of reasons she would want and you need to get rid of her car. Do you want to know the first one that doesn't seem very nice? The fact that there's no kids left to get a baby bonus every month. She's got zero income. How about that? She's got no job, no fucking income, and she's paying for insurance and a fucking car payment? I doubt it. There's my first guess. She's not collecting any baby bonus or anything from Meadow, and obviously not for Jack and Lily. We don't know if their decisions were right, were wrong. We know very little about what Cindy and Malaya did other than what was documented in those the paperwork that was released in July, in the summer. I think it was July. There's a reason why Malaya is silent. It has everything to do with the exact opposite of not being associated with anything to do with telling the RCMP something false or pushing this false story. That's where this is all going to break down and begin, if I had to take a guess. Because everything that stands out to you and I stands out to the investigators. And guess what? They're in a position where they can act on behalf. They can follow up because why? That's their job. We can speculate and talk about it. In this situation, there's so much deception, it could only indicate their culpability. There shouldn't be anything that's too far out. There shouldn't be anything that distracts people from that truth, that reality, that blatant statement. They've lied every step of the way. They've lied about everything, which for an investigator in theory trying to figure out the guilty parties in all of this is a big boost to solving the rest of it. Everything else is just semantics and game playing and trying to get the truth out from the last 3 people to see Jack and Lily alive. And however that long that takes, they're going to do, namely, their very own mom's boyfriend, and the boyfriend's boss, Janie. Anita says MBM has to know. I can't understand how she really is okay with where Jack and Lily are. Well, she's hoping that they're warm. I wonder if Malaya still hopes that Jack and Lily are warm. What a thing to say. What an odd, peculiar thing to say in front of a camera. So distant. What did I just say? Distancing. MBM has to know. I can't understand how she's really okay with where Jack and Lily are. Well, yeah. I would think that she has to know as well. Unless, you're not going to sell me on that she doesn't know. She wasn't rattled. She wasn't straightforward and honest. She has been pushing that the kids are out without ever going out herself. None of it makes any fucking sense. And why would you get in front of the camera and relay a clearly untrue series of statements like you did? As though, well, you prioritize yourself in the statements over your kids. You're not the type of person. You're not the type of person to do, to not be out there when the kids aren't out there. It's a performance. That's because the kids weren't out there, honey. If you don't know what happened, how is it that you're describing it in any way that you are? One minute the kids were here, the next they're not? Just a clapping seal says, I think she knows, but whether she cares or not is questionable. That's a sad reality in that sense. Hey, Justin. That's evident. The lack of caring, don't ever feel like there's people out there that want to put all of the people asking questions about Malaya to shame in that sense. Everybody has every right to be outraged at her and her behavior throughout all of this. Your desire for privacy, you dumbass, went out the window when you called the RCMP. When you called 911, you got all of us. Oh, fuck, nothing to see here, everybody. Yeah, what's going on in Cleveland? 2 little girls? Oh my God, I'll have to go check it out. Jack and Lily were warm, now loved in heaven, finally happy to go lucky, not just go lucky kids. Well, I guess that's one way to look at it. Yeah, it's astonishing to me, Anita, that here's a situation where their mother, Jack and Lily's mother, has chosen to be silent in the face of such lies and deceit. If she was being gaslit, you think that she'd be a bit more critical with the information that she was given, wouldn't you? But no. Nothing struck her odd in the last 10 months. So I don't buy the claim when I sit back and think about it that maybe Daniel is is putting her on, or maybe Daniel is keeping her in the dark or gaslighting her in a certain way. Unfortunately, it's a nice thought, but no. Yeah, what mother doesn't say a word when her 2 children are missing? Well, technically, she said more than one word, Annette. Then she bailed. Uh-huh. I don't even, like, I can't even give her the benefit of the doubt and say that Malaya is traumatized. I'm not saying that she's not, but that trauma is directing her behavior here. That's so fucking ridiculous. She's in 100% control, including getting back at the perpetrators for this, should any of that be true. You know, it's a strong indicator that she's complicit in it and that she's engaged in some sort of activity that's going to hold her responsible in this sense. And the fear of that is what's keeping her silent. There's never any need for silence in these situations. The opposite. Do you hear that, Cindy and Malaya? When your children are missing and supposedly you're a victim of the most heinous thing possible on earth, there's no reason for you to be silent at any point in time. You don't need to have a desire to gatekeep little trinkets of information to get yourself out of scenarios under the guise of wanting to protect the integrity of somebody else's investigation. One, you're not part of the investigation. You're the subject of the investigation, Daniel. None of your fucking stories would indicate anything other than you guys being culpable in all of this. So content creators don't need to go back, and even people get off kilter and get manipulated and engaged with people who are actively trying to deceive them again, like we saw today with this Anita Johnson, or the Getting to Mike. It includes in the background as well. There's always exceptions, but you've got to clear the exception and be 100% sure of your source. You can't tell me that you're 100% confident in the source at any point in time with these people, especially when you're filtering and asking for people. You have to expect to be manipulated, expect people to reach out and get you to act on their behalf by proxy. That's really the prime motive of any troll in a live chat. I used to do a lot of it myself. But I was the good kind of troll. I'm the white troll. If the kid's mother can't speak up and her family speaks volumes, Lori Green, if the kid's mother can't speak up and her family speaks volumes, in my opinion. I'm not sure if I know what you're saying. It speaks volumes if the mother can't speak up, it does. The family has said more than Malaya has. Anita, how can people do these awful, horrible things to beautiful, innocent children? It's sad that it seems that, I don't know what it is. There's so many families out there. I guess a combination of lots of things. Well, I think, Anita, that it has mostly to do with the socioeconomic factors in all of this primarily. It's what got them into it. Substance abuse. Along with their many other addictions. They probably found one another and started living out this fantasy life. You know, neither of them are motivated. These two didn't meet each other in school. They didn't meet at college. They didn't meet after class. But you mix poverty in with that, not being motivated, not caring. The only real interest that Daniel has in having a chick is just probably for sexual reasons. He's not looking for a healthy relationship in that sense. He's looking for other things to satisfy and, you know, satisfy that itch. I would have to say no, Fred. Why? Oh, you're talking about the people talking about if Daniel's using that chain to signal Malaya over how confident he is about maintaining the same narrative. I think that's probably looking into things a little much. If it does, it doesn't. But I would say in that case, it's just another way of Daniel. If Daniel's sending signals to Malaya about anything, it's an extension of the abuse that he was bestowing upon her up till she left, up to the day she left. There's not going to be any working together to try to get, you know, through this or fool the cops. You guys and your stories are non-existent. So you can only sit there and play quiet up until the time they put your ass on the stand. And then your silence can speak to a jury. It doesn't really enter my mind. I don't focus on that so much. I'm not sure where I heard that this morning. Whose video that was? I mean, who cares if he is trying to signal her with items of clothing? What do you think? What amazing thing do you think that he's trying to suggest to her? That, oh yeah, everything's just hunky-dory? We're really getting away with it? What, are you fucking kidding me? But yeah, the RCMP are bringing the charges